Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Vanilla Minecraft on the Aura Fury server. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing absolutely amazing. So, I have an announcement to make right off the bat, and that is that the live stream from Sunday will be the last live stream that will be posted here because I have started a second channel specifically for my live stream replays. So I will link that down in the description. If you are interested in watching my live stream replays, be sure to go over there and subscribe so that you won't miss any of those. But I started out here today, I wanted to get a little bit of stuff cleaned up in the base, so I had a whole bunch of bone blocks. So I came over here and restocked a bunch of stuff, refilled a bunch of the barrels, and I got to thinking, you know what, let's just go around and check. I don't think that anybody's bought anything. I thought maybe the rooted dirt would have sold, but no, there was nothing. But I kept looking around here, and after a little while, I happened to open this box right here. And yes, we sold an entire crate. Yeah, an entire shulker box worth of blackstone. So, yeah, we need to get some blackstone in here, but yeah, that is absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and grab our wallet, see where we're at. Have we broken a stack of blocks without mining all of this stuff? I don't think so, not yet. We're getting close, though. We are getting really close. If I were to mine all of these with fortune, we would definitely be there and then some. But yes, that was a really nice welcome surprise. Now, I'm pretty sure that the reason for that is because Illuminati and, Nipsey, which are the other two people on the server right now, are working on this over here. So we used to have this section of the tunnel walled off, and these guys are now working on some additional tunnels here. So this tunnel here goes out to Alexa is King, and I can't remember who the other one is, but yeah, they're a couple of new players on the server, and this up here leads up to a hole in the roof of the nether. So yes, this will be the second time that I have been up here, but we have a hole up here in the roof of the nether. So we can get onto the roof of the nether, and that severely frightens me, seeing those end crystals up there. Now, I don't know where this is going to lead around here, but there is definitely some possibilities that we could make some farms up there. I know some other people have, well, I'm pretty sure someone's got a piglin farm already, and there's some other farms around here, for sure a ghast farm in the nether. So yeah, I don't know if it's really worth us making this stuff. I would love it if they would make a shop or get some stuff in the shops. I know that Illuminati shop does sell end crystals. I haven't looked to see if it actually sells gas tiers, because gas tiers would actually be what I would want it for. But yeah, I've just been wanting to do a little bit of cleanup here because I've got a lot of shulker boxes and crates laying out here, and I also had a few of them inside. So I was trying to get some of that cleaned up, and I saw that, and so I thought I gotta bring you guys in. But yes, I want to get all this cleaned up, and then we're gonna head out to our massive beacon mine, and I'm just going to finish that off camera. We don't have much left on it anymore, and then we are going to set to work building that rooted dirt farm. And so there's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to want to make with that. First one will be actually a moss farm, and then we will go on to the rooted dirt farm. So hopefully we won't have any issues there. But yeah, lots of junk that I need to get picked up. Some of this is the stuff that I was using for the paths, but I'm going to put the paths on hold until the next live stream. And yeah, I just, for some reason, I can do this a lot better in live streams than I can on just sitting here doing nothing, probably because I get distracted. So, yep, I am going to get all of this stuff put back away, and I'll meet you guys out at the beacon mine. So I am out here in the giant hole in the ground, and I think we are ready to start building our first farm out here. Now, of course, I want to be able to get the rooted dirt. Now, in order to do that, we need to build another farm first, and that is a moss farm. Now, the moss can turn things like stone and deep slate, andesite, or diorite, all of these into moss. The problem is we need to have a way to infinitely generate that. Now, of course, if you have water underneath lava, it produces stone. The problem with it is most of the time I end up destroying either the lava source or the water source when the machine backs up. So I had to figure out a way to work around that, and this is what I came up with. So the orange concrete up there will be the lava source. It is protected by a piece of obsidian underneath it, and the lava will flow over the top and down onto the water. Now, over here we have a fence that will be waterlogged. And of course, we could use any waterloggable block there. And that will hold the water source, because no matter what, this piston can't push it because there's another removable piece of obsidian behind that. So if we get the entire machine backed up, it will just this area will plug up and nothing will happen. So what it will need to do is it will need to generate a piece of stone right here where the blue concrete is. This piston will fire, pull it back. This one will fire, pull it down. And then this one will fire, pushing it out of the machine. So yeah, a little bit of redstone timing involved, but this will be able to be a tileable stone generator. And yeah, I just need to build a lot. So I'm going to get to that. And when I come back, we should have ourselves a stone generator that hopefully won't break. So you can see now we have a platform of stone here. And this is really nice, very simple to operate. So I have an observer looking here at this, just simple repeater clock, powers into a torch. So every time that it goes around, it just turns on and off. So also that means that we can shut the system off simply by flipping this lever, but you can see it just cycles around. Every time that it changes, the observer reads the change. So that's perfect. From there, we just have an observer chain going through here. I did have to put an extra observer over here because strangely enough, these two pistons were not quite working right. They were firing together, but they weren't pushing the blocks right. So I just gave them one more tick and then everything worked fine. But if we turn this on and hop up here and just start mining a little of this, immediately the blocks that we have mined out will fill back in. Now, one thing that I found is if the timing isn't quite right, so like if we change this, we'll start to see cobblestone pop out of this every once in a while. And so I don't want that because cobblestone cannot be changed into the moss. So strangely enough, this timing is working too. Well, nope, it's not, because now it just keeps on firing. So let's go ahead and slow that back down to what I had originally, and then once it fills up, the machine just stops. So yeah. If it ever isn't firing, we know that we can come over here and just turn it off. So that's perfect. Now I will need to get some lighting up here, some permanent lighting above the stone platform, because that is going to be a bit of a problem. So now we need to go and get our moss, a dispenser, and some bone meal, and we'll look at getting the next portion of this farm built, which actually is a really easy portion. So at this point, the mechanism is set up, but I don't have any redstone connecting it. So what I want to do is have this dispenser, which has some bone meal in it, bone meal the area. Then I want the stone to fire, about 6 times, and that should pretty much take care of all of it. Then we need this to open for just a little bit, and it'll flush all of those items out into this water stream. Now underneath you can see there is another water stream under here because occasionally blocks fall through. So this will collect both top and bottom, and then all of our stuff ends up over here. So now we are going to be getting a lot of moss blocks. You can see I grabbed one stack when I left the base. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of moss blocks. We'll also be getting flowering azaleas, regular azaleas, moss carpets, and seeds. So what I want to do is have these items be sorted out of the water stream and put into first a double chest for storage, and then any excess go to a set of composters. So the first step here, of course, is going to be working out the timings on all of this stuff. And yeah, there will be some loss in blocks that get stuck here on the edge of this, but this is my bigger problem. If we click the bone meal here again, nothing happens because there's something on top of the moss block. So in order for that to work, there has to be nothing on top of the moss block. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So I've got to figure out some way to break whatever is on top of there. I think I could probably do that just with a piston. So it might not be that big of a deal. And yeah, like I say, we will be getting some loss from the block sitting there. And you know, we could potentially do this. Let's try this real quick because I think this will work. So let's actually move our moss block up by one block, remove our dispenser, and then we will place that back down here. So actually we will do that. So we'll throw all of our bone meal back in there, grab our lever, place that on the dispenser, then we will break this one and that one. So now, whoops. And see, that's the nice part is, even if I accidentally break it, the floor just fills back in. So now, if we bone meal this, hey, actually nothing grew on top of it that time. Well, that's interesting. Well, that might be a lot simpler than I thought. But yeah, look at all of that stuff flying out of there. So it looks like pretty much all that I need to do now is get some timings figured out here to flush everything out. I will also want to probably put some shroom lights up here to light this up because I'm pretty sure we're not bright enough here. Let's see, block light of 7, yeah. We could potentially put a torch on the side of the moss block. Let's see what that does. Is this still gonna work? Sure looks like it. So, yeah. It's really nice. Moss is destroyed by the stone coming in. And then it only needs to flush for a little bit, and then it can bone meal again. And then, once again, it will break everything out. So, let me get the timings figured out here, because the next part is going to be a little bit more difficult, which is the item sorting. Well, I was wrong. We're still going to need to have something to break the block above that. So, yeah. I will have to be placing a piston up there. Well, that kind of stinks. So, the redstone is now completely hooked up to fully automate this farm. So, I set up some water streams to collect everything. It's running into 2 hoppers because one hopper can't keep up with this farm. So if we flip this lever, it will turn everything on. So first off, of course, we have this clock here that runs the cobble generator. At the same time, it powers this system up here, which has a longer clock, which allows several pushes of the stone before the water closes and then it dispenses bone meal again. And yeah, it's not 100% efficient because of the fact that we would need a little bit more time here to ensure that it pushes everything out, but it does pretty good. And the amount of resources that we get in very short order is very high. Let's go ahead and throw that bone meal back in there. So you can see we've used a little over 3 stacks of bone meal. So yeah, we've used 3.5 stacks of bone meal currently. Let's go ahead and toss that in there. And we currently have, from that, a full double chest of moss blocks, a whole bunch of moss carpets, a whole bunch of azaleas and wheat seeds, and then a whole bunch more stuff that is filtering into the main chest. And I have to say, it is extraordinarily hypnotic just to sit here and watch the stuff fly over the edge of that and then get sucked up by the hoppers. It is really kind of cool. So the next thing for me to do, I will be piping these items into an item sorter, and we're going to keep a buffer, like I was saying, of the various items. So we want to keep at least a double chest of the moss blocks, and it will take a while for the azaleas and flowering azaleas to get bumped up to that level. Of course, the moss carpets will take a while too, just not as long as the azaleas, but we're going to try to keep at least one double chest of all 4 of those in reserve. Any excess that is not used will be immediately composted, and then all of the wheat seeds that we are getting will be immediately composted as well. So yeah, that is the next project then. So let me get to working on that, and once I get it done, we'll come back and take a look at that. Alright, so the high-speed item sorter is in place, and if you haven't seen this before in my videos, this is something that I came up with in the Unbound realm. Uses minecart hoppers to pull items out of a water stream extraordinarily fast. So this can actually keep up with 4 hoppers flowing out of it, and the system itself is still faster than that, but you can't go more than 4 hoppers because, well, you can't get this hopper minecart to touch more than 4 hoppers. But what happens here in this system, do my best to explain it here. So obviously we have a hopper there that can pick up items. Now before we can do that, we need to align the items so that they go properly down the water stream. So we have all items come up here, they will flow down here and hit this whatever stone wall, cobblestone wall, and that will align them to the first 4 pixels. Now as long as they're in the first 4 pixels, they will ride the edge of the hopper here rather than falling down inside of it, because if they fall down in it, it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's the first thing, and I guess there is another thing that I needed to do here that I forgot about. We need to actually have something on this side to help align them here. Now, yeah, I think we'll have to do it like that, and items could potentially get stuck there. Yeah. So we're going to have to do a double alignment. So I'm going to have to move this water column, or I guess I could potentially just move this alignment, have it, well, we need them to be condensed down into, basically so that they get into this first 4 pixels. So items that are in here, in this case moss blocks, will be sucked up at a high rate of speed by the hopper. As soon as the comparator registers that there's enough items in there, it will go through here and power the rail underneath this minecart right now, which fires it over to the other side, and it starts pulling items out of that hopper at an extraordinarily high rate of speed. And as soon as the level in there goes low enough, then the repeater turns off, the minecart tracks switch, so we have a torch on the back side of this block. So once they turn off, this one will turn off, that one will turn on, sending the minecart hopper back. Now, no matter where this minecart hopper is, it is always above that one. And of course, you can see our tracks are sitting on top of trapdoors, which allows the lower minecart hopper just to sit there. Now, that has been carefully positioned using fences pushed in from one side and then fences pushed in from the other, and that gives it to where the minecart hopper is now on all four of these. But I haven't tried this yet, but the idea is that we will be able to have all of our moss, which is the bulk of the items from this farm here, will get sorted out of the item stream before it goes into a hopper chain and a more traditional item sorter. So let's go ahead and kick this thing on and see what happens. Okay. Oh, we have a cobblestone here. That's a bit of an issue. And I think that was actually because I heard a skeleton die inside of there. But so we have everything going here. Let's see if we've got items coming up. Yep, we've got items coming up, and yeah, we can see lots of them are getting stuck on that trap door. That is more than a little bit of a problem. Now, have we had any items make it all the way down here? It doesn't really look like it, actually. Looks like they're all getting stuck there. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's actually rather interesting. So they're being pushed to that wall by the lower item stream. So we could just send some down here so that we can see the system in action. So right now it is emptying stuff, and now it's not, and it actually pulled everything out. So I must have something improperly set up here, because it literally pulled everything out of there rather than just taking... No, it pulled just the items that it was supposed to. So how did it get all the other stuff? I don't know. That's weird. So yeah, I've got a little bit more stuff to do here to get the items properly aligned in the water stream. And then the traditional item sorters, you guys can see those in, oh geez, tons of different videos on YouTube. This particular item sorter is mine. I have never seen it anywhere else. So, yeah. But I think I'm going to turn this off, and we've got another cobblestone there. What is going on here? I've been having some internet connection issues, and I don't know if potentially that is causing me some problems here. I don't know, to be honest. Oh, and my inventory is literally completely full. Okay, well, anyway, I'm gonna get the items rearranged and also get the traditional sorters in. So I have been running the moss farm for some time, and we managed to fill up a ton of moss in the chests and hoppers and minecart hoppers here. We actually completely filled the entire thing. Originally I had 4 double chests connected with hoppers in between them, and I realized that's just way too much of that moss. So I eventually took it down to only 2 chests, a double chest. But then I ran into another problem. So if we come up here, the issue came in that then the moss started going past. And one hopper cannot keep up with this farm at all. So what I need to do is have a system that will allow all of the moss to run into our high-speed item sorter, but then if it exceeds a certain level, we need to pull some of it out of that system so that we can send it over to be composted, which, by the way, I have run just about all of that moss through the composter. And yeah, we're making a lot more bone meal than we even came close to using in this thing. So that's perfect. This farm will be 100% self-sufficient. Oh, geez. It is fairly early in the morning right now. Words are difficult sometimes. But so what I have come up with here, and apparently my phone's dinging. But what I have come up with here is if we have a double chest sitting here, this comparator will put out a signal strength of 15 when that chest is completely full. Even one item down will take it down to 14. Problem is I don't want to have to run the redstone that far. So to get it to where it is just a little bit less, I have put a hopper underneath one of the repeaters for the traditional impulse item sorter. And in this hopper I have put 4 bows and 63 dirt. So that puts out an output strength of 14. We've got a comparator off of that. This guy is set into subtraction mode, so we get 15 in here, 14 in there, we get 1 out. Anything 14 or less on this will not give an output. So going down below, what we're going to do, we have that powering this block, that powers this redstone, and then we're going to have a block with a repeater on it here. And let me just get this in here. And then right here, we will have a redstone torch right there. So what that does is it will allow this block to be powered, and then if we follow this redstone dust around, that torch gets turned off at the same time. And on top of there I have 2 redstone dusts. So you know, the torch powers that block powers the redstone powers this block, powering a powered rail. So there's we're going to be using another set of minecart hoppers here to draw items out very, very quickly out of the chest. So I need a spot for one minecart hopper to run back and forth, and then I need a spot here for another minecart hopper to sit and draw out of that first hopper. So yeah, first off though, I have to get that minecart hopper on the bottom centered on these 4 hoppers down below. So I didn't show how to do this on the previous one, so I will here. So we put down our rail, we put down our minecart hopper, and then we break the rail. This is fairly standard procedure on a lot of things. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put a piston right over here. And we're going to put a fence on its face. So now we go ahead and sometime here I'll get all of this stuff squared away. So then we go ahead and power this guy, and it pushes not quite a full block because of the fact that the fence post is not a full block. So I'm going to go ahead and just retract that because this could get ugly trying to get everything figured out. And somewhere in here, oh geez, we got a whole bunch of blocks in there. But so now we are past center over here. So what we want to do, we'll throw a block down there. We're going to put a piston here, the fence on there, and then we're going to power this guy. And so that pushes it a little bit over halfway on there. So now we are over the top of all 4 hoppers with our hopper minecart. So the hopper minecart can only pull out of 1 inventory at a time, but all inventories can pull out of a hopper minecart. So yes, we get all 4 of these hoppers pulling stuff out. So now we have the next little bit. Because of the fact that trapdoors are activated by redstone, we have to be really careful. So yeah, instead we're going to be placing down some concrete and shoving it into this minecart. So I have 2 pistons here. Each one, or 2 levers here, each one will activate 3 of these 4 pistons. So if we fire this one, we can see those 3 went down. Fire that one, the other one goes down. And so what we have done now is shoved all 4 of those purple concrete blocks into that minecart. And so that protects it and keeps the minecart in place. But if we queue an item out here, you can see it promptly disappears. It's getting sucked up by the minecart hopper, and then all of those items are showing up down below. So now we can place our rails up here, and we don't have to worry about the trapdoors flipping down on us or anything like that. So that's very helpful. Now, one issue that I can see here is the fact that this redstone dust that I have here will stop the hoppers underneath from operating, and we can't have that. So I'm going to have to reroute the redstone that is running over to power that side. But other than that, I think this system should work out pretty good. So once we get it into this point, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I could run them into droppers. 4 hoppers will feed 2 droppers. We could set up a high-speed clock that would then throw those items into a water stream, and we could run them over here to where we're composting, which we're going to need more than one composter to keep up with this farm, because this has been running for like half an hour. So yeah, it takes a long time to compost all the items from this farm. But yeah, what we're going to do with them from this point, I'm not sure. But if we can get it to where excess items are pulled out, that will be a great deal plenty for me. I mean, right now we could actually see this in operation. Let's go ahead and actually do that. So we'll throw our repeater back down here, put a block on the repeater, put a torch up here. And so yeah, now we are powering that redstone. We'll go ahead and put another minecart hopper right over here. There we go. And then we'll go up above and remove our pistons. And actually, yeah, all of those blocks can go away. None of them are needed as part of the... And actually, that one's not even needed, is it? I don't know. But so now, if we place our chest back down here, actually, I guess the chests are right here. So we'll place our chest down here. Yeah, that is not the way that I wanted that to go. There we go. So we have a double chest there. Let's go ahead and place this down. We'll throw all of these other items in there so that we can get a decent amount of inventory space. And then we will just manually fill this up. And you can see the items flow into it very quickly because we have four hoppers feeding into that. So let's go ahead, and that is actually still feeding. Wow. So if we go here, now we can see the hopper minecart runs back and forth. So it pulls a few items out, a few items come in. We might have to adjust that just a little bit so that it triggers at 15 but doesn't turn off until 13. I don't know. But you can see all of the items are being pulled out of this hopper minecart. So everything is working exactly as I intended it to. So that is always a good sign. So yeah, I think I might try to get it to where it's turning off at 13 instead of just back and forth all the time. But that will allow us to keep some moss blocks in here, but not overload our sorting system. And that's rather important. So yeah, that's what I've got going on here. And I have spent a lot of time working on getting this moss farm going. I was hoping to get to the rooted dirt farm today, but I think we're way over time for this episode. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out my second channel. Link is in the description. That is where I will be doing live stream replays, and also I will be doing like the background music playlists and things like that. Basically anything that doesn't make sense to be here on the main channel. So be sure to go over there, check it out, subscribe if you're not subscribed over there as well, and I will see you next time. Bye.